First and foremost, Derek Chauvin. Do you guys remember Derek Chauvin? Derek Chauvin was the police officer that went viral and was convicted, especially considering Black Lives Matters and everything else that was going on. But Derek Chauvin was the police officer that was convicted as a result of what was going on with what was his name? George Floyd. George Floyd. Let me bring y'all up to date on what's happening with Derek Chauvin.
Breaking story overnight. Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd, attacked in a federal prison, and he was seriously injured. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more on this story. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Hey, Gio, good morning. George Floyd's death obviously rocked the country in 2020, sparking nationwide protests about police brutality and race relations. And now sources say the man at the center of it all, found guilty of murdering Floyd, is in the hospital. This morning, sources tell ABC News Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer convicted of murdering George Floyd by kneeling on his neck, sparking massive civil rights protests, is now in the hospital with serious injuries after getting stabbed by another inmate.
The court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months.
47-year-old Chauvin is serving out his 21-year federal sentence for violating Floyd's civil rights and a 22-and-a-half-year state sentence for second-degree murder at this medium-security federal correctional facility in Tucson, Arizona. Back in August, officials moved him there from this maximum-security Minnesota state prison, where he was mainly kept in solitary confinement largely for his own protection. The Bureau of Prisons only revealing an incarcerated individual was assaulted at the Federal Correctional Institution, Tucson, yesterday. In a recent documentary called The Fall of Minneapolis, Chauvin spoke to the media for the first time, calling the trial and sentencing a sham, claiming his use of his knee on Floyd's neck was part of his police training manual.
In fact, I'm looking at it right now. 5-316, maximal restraint technique, right in their written policy manual.
And sources say Chauvin is, as of now, in stable condition and is expected to survive, but we have not heard back from his attorney or the prison.
So, Derek Chauvin, obviously convicted of the murder of George Floyd, which I believe that it largely came as a result. And I can't really sit here and tell you, because even up to this day, I refused to watch the video. A lot of people still believe that it was a court of public opinion that got him convicted. Court of public opinion. Some people believe that he deserved to go to prison. Some people then condemned all police as a result of what happened with George Floyd. Obviously, we all realize that Black Lives Matter was a sham, and them being at the forefront of this movement ultimately was an opportunity for them to profit from the people. And nobody wants to revisit anything with regard to anybody that is convicted, especially in the court of public opinion, because nobody ever wants to say that they were wrong, right? A lot of toxicology, autopsy reports brought forth, obviously, would feed into the idea that maybe we got it wrong, maybe we got it right, who knows? But the question still remains, and there's always going to be a bunch of people that have forgetful memories as far as trying to figure out whether or not they were right or they were wrong. But ultimately, somebody's life, a father, an uncle, somebody got thrown under the bus as a result of it. So we know that nobody is ever going to remember, and nobody is ever going to say anything to the contrary of what they were protesting for before they ever even got into a trial in the first place. And at the end of this show, I want to present to you something that kind of supports what I'm saying right now. That kind of supports what I'm saying right now. And that when women a lot of times say that they want to be equal, I'm not really sure that they do, because the court of public opinion is always going to hold men accountable. And if they don't, society will. Right, as far as the laws and the land and the way in which we operate, it always is going to hold you accountable. So no matter, regardless of whether or not he's guilty or not, or whether you want to remember it or not, he's still in prison getting stabbed up. And so that's currently what's happening with Derek Chauvin. In other news, with other people that are in the news, Diddy. So, like I predicted, not only did it open up an opportunity for Diddy to suffer, but it opened up an opportunity for a lot of celebrities and all men to suffer. But let me bring you up to speed of what's happening with Diddy. All right.
Welcome back. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is facing new allegations of sexual assault. This time, a woman claims the rapper drugged and sexually assaulted her in New York City back in 1991. He is denying the allegations, but these new claims come exactly 1 week after Combs settled a separate lawsuit involving his ex-girlfriend Cassie, who accused him of sex trafficking, rape, and domestic abuse. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson joins us now on this from Los Angeles. Hi, Steve. So tell us more about the allegations and why the victim chose to come forward now.
No, Savannah, the allegations are horrific. And if you include not only Sean Diddy Combs, but his associates, this is actually the third lawsuit in as much time levied against Combs and his inner circle. This one, as you mentioned, stems from 1991. A Syracuse University college student says that Sean Diddy Combs took her out to dinner, that she was drugged, and that she was drugged for the purpose of a sexual assault, and that she was so drugged that she could not fight back against said sexual assault. There's also the accusation that the sexual assault itself was recorded as a form of revenge porn, and that tape was shown to several people, including a member of the 90s R&B group Jodeci. The accuser says that she was so hurt and so confused and so traumatized at the time that she didn't file anything, that she didn't follow up, but that she did follow up following that incident with a police report in both New York and New Jersey, and that she's coming out 30 years later, because this Adult Survivors Act in New York was set to expire just a day before she filed suit in New York. But the true inspiration, of course, was the lawsuit filed by Cassie.
The true inspiration behind a lawsuit that came at the last minute for the expiring Adult Survivors Act was Cassie. 30 years later, lawsuit filed from 1991. We didn't even have cell phones, so if he recorded it, it had to be on one of them fat camcorders or something like that. Over 32 years later, a woman at the very last minute, considering that she's seen Cassie's payout, decided that she wanted to file a lawsuit based off of something that she's accusing Diddy of doing from 1991. Now, Anton is not of the camp of people that believe that Diddy is innocent, nor that he is not a horrible person. But I'm not just going to continue to substantiate other people's claims just because they don't necessarily like him and I don't like him either. I'm not going to say that Diddy is completely innocent. And I've been warning y'all, and I've been having this conversation. People criticize me for criticizing him when I told y'all that his business practices, especially the way that he'd been selling to the black community, was questionable. And when he did on that Earn Your Leisure and he did his little tour and he said that he was a billionaire and all of this other type of stuff. And I told y'all, I warned y'all, I said, listen, Diddy's time is coming. Diddy's time is coming. And he sold y'all a lie and so on and so forth. But I was just criticizing what he was saying specifically on that particular platform. I wasn't criticizing anything that I didn't know about him. But I'm not going to throw him under the bus just because somebody 32 years later decided that they wanted to go for a cash grab and they never even filed or reported or said anything about the possibility of him ever doing anything until they found out that Cassie was getting some money. Yep. It's crazy. Ain't it crazy, all of this stuff? Brittany, you absolutely right. I've been talking about dick discipline, protecting yourself and all of this stuff. Y'all called me crazy. Y'all cited people like Diddy as a reference point as to where money can fix anything and all of this stuff. And I've been telling y'all all this time. And now we here. And all of a sudden, everybody forgot about what I said. Don't worry about it. Trust me, more will come to pass as I predict what's going to happen and how things are playing out. But I don't, by default, believe any of these women. I just don't. I really don't. And then last but not least, the Chasers. So let me celebrate everybody that's a part of the Patreon and all of the Bag Chasers. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I knew that it was going to be a long night. So yesterday on Sunday, as promised, we live streamed, and I will drop that live stream this afternoon or tomorrow morning, but more than likely this afternoon. I'm going to drop the video recording of the live stream that we did exclusive to the Patreon members for everybody that pitched their businesses yesterday, okay? So some people pitched passion projects. Some people pitched businesses. One person came up with an idea that was so great that I said, you know what, we might have to even invest with each other and do business together. So we working that out. But we wound up live streaming for almost 6 hours. I was a soldier in that joint. 6 hours yesterday. We were live streaming and we got to it. So people pitched their businesses and we wind up allocating and spending about $21,500 yesterday. $21,500 yesterday was the amount of money that we wound up allocating for, and then we're going to reach out to everybody over the next week in order to make sure to get y'all information so that we can send y'all the money and wire it to y'all or mail it to y'all or whatever, right? And I was in such a good mood last night. Y'all caught me on the right weekend. Y'all caught me on the right weekend because I was begging y'all to give me a number. Some people I was like, all right, so what do you need? And they kept beating around the bush. I'm going to have to teach y'all. I'm going to have to do a video specifically to Patreon members on how to pitch your business, your 2-minute elevator pitch, when you pitch into a venture capitalist, when you pitch into people that can invest in your business, how you're supposed to allocate your pitches or present your pitches when it comes to going into certain banks and stuff like that. Because I was literally looking and pushing y'all to say yes. Hey, how much do you need? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, what is it? What is it going to cost you? Well, I'm thinking that I got to go over here. Hey, just give me a number. Give me a number. I need $2,000. Okay, you got it. I seriously was advocating for and pushing y'all. Very few people I said no to yesterday. Very few people I said no to yesterday. So congratulations to everybody that had the courage. Congratulations to everybody that's a bag chaser. I wanted to make sure that I added value into y'all lives. So this is one of many that I've done, and more is to come. So next year, hopefully, I'm guessing that we can up the ante, maybe double. Maybe I can get 40 plus thousand to y'all out. So again, make sure I got everybody's information. To everybody that pitched me yesterday, congratulations if you got picked. If you didn't get picked, then that means that you got to go back to the drawing board, baby, and get your idea together. And then we gonna go there. And shout out to everybody that soldiered through it with me as far as watching it and viewing it and checking out. Again, I'm gonna put the recording inside of the Patreon today. I already got it uploaded. I'm just waiting to be able to release it. I got to put the cover photo on it, and then we're gonna get it popping. All right. So shout out to the people. I always love my people. I love my chasers, and I'm always gonna try to do what I can in order to add value into your life, including giving y'all money for y'all businesses. And I don't take any equity into it. It's yours. We went by the honor system. And if I got finessed, then I just got finessed. But I don't think that I got finessed because I think that the chasers are a unique group of people, and I love y'all, all right? So shout out to all of the chasers.